Namaste and welcome to Bhoom of Bharat with Ramashiv Kumar, founder, CEO, SRK Game Changers, where we bring you a new update each week on GCC. SRK Game Changers is a GCC consulting services organization providing advisory, governance, and setup services across talent, business operations, and workplace solutions. Thank you so much for the encouraging remarks that each one of you are sharing for our podcast and the uniqueness of the themes that we are bringing in. And today we have a very unique theme, and that's a theme which is very close to everybody's heart. Our theme is Recurring the Future, GCCs, and the Cyber Trust. And we have a very special guest, Rohit Srivastwa, with us. So, welcome, Rohit, to our podcast. It is so pleasure to have you here.
Thanks a lot, Rama. Thanks for inviting me, and good to be on the podcast, which I have been watching from the other side till now.
Thank you so much. And Rohit is a cybersecurity pioneer known for founding and successfully creating cybersecurity companies. Currently, he is also building a platform that blends security, scale, and AI for the future of digital India. He has also authored books in the domain of cybersecurity, and one of his recent books, Cyber Resilience, a strategic handbook for business leaders, is very, being known with the experts at the moment. So, once again, Rohit, welcome to our podcast. And can I request you to please introduce for yourself to our audience?
Been there in tech industry from last 23, 24 years now, knowing only one thing, cybersecurity, playing with it, and jumped into entrepreneurial journey very early on. So created a bunch of companies. Some did well, some did not do that well. And finally, right now, I'm on my fifth one where I'm more or less helping other cybersecurity startups to groom and go forward, create their offerings, go right manner, and not do the same mistakes which we did in our times.
No, that's so wonderful, so humble of you. And so I have seen your journey, Rohit. You're running an Indian first hacker conference to leading cyber initiatives for GCCs at large scale. So, what transformed your personal approach? And how does that influence the cyber hygiene framework you bring to the GCCs today?
It started back in 2006 and 7 when hacking itself was not a very good word to listen, and people are like, okay, these guys are hackers, that means they're doing something wrong. And that was a typical mindset at that point of time. So started back then and took my all efforts to convince people, including the different law enforcement agencies, that there's nothing wrong with the word called as hacking. There's nothing negative in the word called as hacker, starting from convincing them. And actually, it's a good idea that it started from there because first you learn the whole community, you learn the environment, you love people, and then you learn how to break into things. Once you're aware of how to break, then you can make properly. And as we always call it in the cybersecurity realm, that you need to have a hacker mindset to get converted into a proper structured risk management thought process. So understanding the attacker, basically understanding your adversary is required in any of the domain to do your work properly and do your risk management properly. So that actually helped out in a big way. And then one important thing which you learned throughout the years, that hygiene, a typical security hygiene or security mindset, it cannot be enforced on anyone. People have to learn, people have to imbibe it. You cannot just have a training program happening once in a quarter and then expecting every employee to come sit and learn. So it has to be a culture which has to be embedded.
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Any example or something you want to share from your experience, which is going to be very important here?
As I said, managing the people, managing the thought process of people, we learned one thing very, or rather a hard way in the initial run. A lot of cybersecurity awareness content would be created and a training material would be created. People would go ahead to learn it, learn from that content. But what we realized is most of the training programs were actually treating the end target as a kid, while the reality is whom you are talking to is a grown up.
Mhm.
They have been there in the industry from last 1, 2, 5, 10 years. After doing something, they are grown up people. Talk to them like grown ups. If they know the risk properly, they would behave accordingly. The biggest problem is lack of awareness.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's one thing which we learned, that okay, that is, you have to treat the other guy as they are, the grown ups, and then it will work very good with them.
No, I agree. So, and now, like, in context to the GCCs, you see that GCCs are now integral part to global business strategies because the companies, the stakeholders, the CXOs, they understand that you need to have your strategic partners, innovation labs to understand how is that, you could create more new products into the future. So, based on your work with the startups and enterprises, what are the top three cyber vulnerabilities you see in the GCCs? And how should leaders prioritize protection versus innovation?
So let me take that again from the point we left at last. It's about the human and the HR issues. If we look at any company, the employees there, the basic role is they have been assigned with a task and they want to get through it as soon as possible in the right manner, get it executed, get it developed. Let's talk about even a software development kind of a company. Every developer has a target that, okay, I've been assigned with a project work, let me just finish that project development. Now, if they face various challenges during that, they would try to cut corners and make sure that at least their work is done and completed. If there are too many bureaucratic processes which is stopping them from A, doing their work properly or learning, then in that case, such kind of issues will happen. One of the very popular example is use of unsanctioned SaaS applications or use of something called as shadow IT. I want a virtual machine to run. I'm trying to get some work done. It's not available. My team is taking too much of time. Let me just quickly swipe a card, get a small machine on Azure or AWS, do my work, do a testing, come back, and my work is done. For a speed of development, it is very well working out. But for the security of the company, it is a big worry. They have no clue what you have left onto the table, and you have no idea what's going on around that. And that creates a security problem as well. You have no idea what kind of data this person has put it on his AWS or Azure account, what kind of security controls put there, and after that, what's happening with that. That's called as the shadow IT. So shadow IT or an unsanctioned app. I was looking for a license of Photoshop, but not getting it. So I would just quickly go on Canva, create something on my own. Now, Canva was not a sanctioned application in your company. So that kind of problems do come in. That's one big when it comes to GCCs or anybody for that matter, where the shadow IT or cutting corner, bypassing the controls becomes important for the developer to finish his work. That's one. Second one I see as a risk is a differential setup between the regions of a GCC. The headquarters setup would be something else, the GCC setup would be something else, may not be in sync, and at many a times it may not be in sync with the local requirements. So you are happy, you just went ahead, created a setup, it is done, but it is different, or maybe it is not as per the local laws and local requirements. And that's where the trouble start coming. Third, the biggest one, which we see very commonly in our line of business when we do strategy consulting in security with people, large enterprises, the human aspect is at a very, very, very wrong stage. The company's IT in, say, one of the GCC versus the HQ IT, the security at HQ versus security at different offices, many of them don't even go eye to eye. And that's where the problem starts. You won't believe, I'm not going to name them, but there's a very, very, very large enterprise. They have presence in Europe, they have presence in India, The India IT and India security do not talk to each other. The Europe IT, Europe security do not talk to each other. The Europe IT and India IT do not go eye in eye, and there's a very big problem. And a lot of work like us, there are people like us who are sitting in the company, billing them, taking money, and our whole work is to take data from one and give it to another. And always convinced that, okay, it doesn't matter, let's do it here. And that's why we just do a cross communication of their own data. It could have been solved very simply without paying any outsider. But yes, so those kind of HR issues are one of the biggest one when I see in many of the companies.
Okay, no, that's a very important stuff to take care of it. I think the another thing which becomes very scary is that today you see cyber attacks through AI, and where the multiple attacks are there, then you see supply chain attacks, which is there. So the GCCs we're setting in the year one. What is the governance and the risk framework on the cyber security that they should be focusing on?
See, one of the very important aspect is the moment you set up, make sure your basic readiness is there. Many a times, many companies believe that, okay, the moment I have the well-known basic that, okay, a firewall is configured, the antivirus is installed, we can start the work and think of the other aspect later. That creates a differentiation. That creates a gap between the security controls. So in the year one itself, make sure that your GCC security configurations and protocols and requirements are at par with your HQ and other locations. Doing it right for the first time will solve you a lot of pain and expenses in future. The other important thing is, because you have a local setup, make sure that the protocols, the SOPs are as per the local government requirements. So even if you're setting up a GCC, technically you are setting up a local legal entity as well. The moment you have a local legal entity, you are bound with Indian IT Act. The requirements of anything as low as, if you, even if you call up as maintenance of the log of the systems, your requirement may be different at other places. In India, it is required to have 180 days logs. Are you aware of it? Are your SOPs accordingly drafted? You may be coming in from, say, California, and you are under the CCPA for the privacy. But at the same time, you have to know how the local privacy law in India is working, and are you compatible with both, and making sure that you are at the right point of controls. So these are few things. And then people say that, okay, when an incident will happen, we will see, or just finish off the work from the audit readiness perspective, which we strongly say do not live from an audit to audit. Make sure that audit is a byproduct, a secondary exam which you are giving. A security certification is a byproduct of your good culture itself.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing you brought about the good culture, and especially when we are talking to some of these European and US companies who are focusing on global data flow and the compliance. So I would need your help in terms of what are the specific things that they should be feel comfortable about, that India has the skills, the expertise there, which they should be aware of, and what are we that we should take care of it when we are setting up their GCCs in India.
See, obeying the local law is not an option, it's a requirement that's given.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
point is, the way even laws in India are getting updated and brought to the closest to the reality, we are already in a good shape.
Mm-hmm.
All we need is people who are working on it should be aware about it,
Mm-hmm.
and they should know how to get it executed.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke about the GDPR of EU or the CCPA, HIPAA, and other compliance requirements in US. Many companies and even GCCs working here are making sure that their processes are as per the global governing standards.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is as per the process of global governing standards, their inherent method of data transfer, data handling, data classification, data understanding is all in a right shape.
Mm-hmm.
The message is, people out here are aware of it and they know how to do that.
Yeah, but this will be very important stuff to kind of build that kind of a trust that yes, things can be handled there, all their compliances, whether you're talking about GDPR, whether you're talking about EU specific compliances, can be taken care of from a cybersecurity perspective. Because today we are talking about GCCs are taking strategic responsibilities. They are into product development. They're also helping on the P&L ownership. The stakeholders' trust here becomes very vital. So, is there any advice you have for the leaders to balance both transparency, data privacy, and real time threat visibility?
See, visibility is a very important aspect. And again, whenever you say visibility and come back to a normal world, the moment you have more visibility, you have the other guy has less privacy. But that doesn't fit very well exactly as is in the cybersecurity world. The visibility doesn't means a lack of privacy. A visibility means a real time understanding of the situation while making sure a privacy preserved monitoring is happening. And that will be required by any GCC or, for that matter, any large company to do and make sure they are not bypassing or stopping the innovation or the upliftment of the stuff which we are doing. So, for that, I always say the statement you should be focusing on guardrails, not gates. You're not just creating a gate and closing it off. You should create the appropriate guardrails so that whatever work is happening under a control, but still opportunity of innovation is not lost. That would be the strongest message I would say. And then one thing which we have seen a lot many times, people prefer speed of development, speed of activity. And one thing which goes out of the window the moment you talk about speed is the security. So make sure you're doing in speed, but at the same time, keeping track of the security controls, making sure whatever you're producing is safe and secure.
So, in fact, you brought a right point. When I was there in London last year, and we were working with the CISOs and a lot of mid-sized banks, building societies, and the larger banks, you could see that some of these, when you're sharing with them, they understand the vulnerability. The kind of attacks which can be there. So you need to have a proactive systems in place. So I really like some of these things. They were very educated in this field. And when you're bringing about those point, the news, I would say the systems needs to be or the checks needs to be built in. Some of them I really find them that they were very positive in terms of implementing those. So I think, have you also seen some of these things being delivered from India? Is there anything example you want to kind of share here?
Yes, I always follow this. Forget about this, the security.
Mhm.
If you are serious about quality in one area, and it can be security, you would realize that slowly the quality of your complete outcome is improving. The way your safety ratings are going up, the way your performance is going up. Even if you just do good as per a standard in one domain, it could be your HR practices, it could be your security practices, it could be IT optimization. That builds a culture slowly in the company that everything is going very smooth and streamlined. So even if it is just security, if you're
Mhm.
serious about it, you realize that it is not a bottleneck in your development, it is an enabler for you. And that enabler helps you in other areas as well. Plus, that enabler is something which will improve your overall quality. This has happened out of India and multiple places. The produce which is going out in the first go itself is safe and secure, and then the world has appreciated it. The people have said that, okay, although it is coming from India, I can see that it is very well designed and very well structured.
So
It
thank
could have been done only by giving the freedom to that team that, okay, take your time, not unlimited time, every resource is limited. Take your time, but give me a good output. And that has helped a lot in a lot of companies.
Yeah, no, no, that's a good thing where you're saying take your time, but not an unlimited one. So it's important you take a quality time to kind of work on those. So that's really
Just
good.
focus on giving the outcome, not on big plans and everything. So as I always say, put it in graph, not in deck. Put it onto a dashboard. The dashboard should be ready,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
your presentation deck that we will do all of this and you're not putting it to the ground.
Yep, yeah, agree. And I think very important to also note here, as India is leaping towards the Bharat 2047, which involves rapid digital expansion, cloud first public systems, and innovation labs. How should GCCs fit into this national security model? And what unique role can they play in safeguarding India's digital future? Any point of view from you on this?
So you said future, and the future is basically coming. Future right now is sitting in colleges.
Yeah, yeah.
That would become future soon. So while you are working on your GCC, you're working on your business and everything. Make sure part of your focus is also on making sure the ecosystem is getting built correctly. Two part to it. A, be visible in the community, be visible in the environment, contribute from your side because you have something which the others do not. So make sure that is going out as a community effort. And see, that's how the whole talent engine will get empowered. And this can happen at a national scale as well. So make sure that you are contributing and via the same channels. Like, for example, we speak about the Maratha Chamber of Commerce in Pune or other such Chamber of Commerce and quasi government bodies as well. And I consider this as a CSR. When it comes as to CSR for the community and making sure everybody is growing good, a very handful number of companies have come forward to do that activity. So that is one, because that will build the future talent which is coming in, which will be one of the most active crowd when it comes to the 2047.
Yeah. No,
So
no,
to
I,
build Bharat at 2047, you have to empower the Bharat which is getting groomed right now.
yeah. No, I would refer back to, the latest yesterday evening discussion we had with Invest AP. The IT, minister was here. Then, when we went to UP, they were also talking about the Yogi GC team, talking about cybersecurity, AI, and the kind of, uh, amount of work which is going on along with corporations, academias together, and the government to create that kind of a knowledge base, and then seeing how is that they can even get industrial trainings, and the kind of a mentors like you are there who are helping them, not only I would say to our own government but also working with the US consulate and the companies which are there. So that's really a good thing. So I really like that about you, Rohit. And I'm not going to let you go away with only asking you, some of these very, very serious questions. So I have one rapid fire round for you. And I hope you will
Okay,
enjoy
okay.
that if that's okay with you.
Yeah, yeah, perfectly fine.
Yeah, yeah. One tech you would ban forever.
If it has to be a tech which has to be banned, I would ban Excel
Thank you so much.
and ban it only where it is being used for the complete security program management, it is being used for incident management. It is an amazing tool, but not for this purpose.
Okay,
Why
okay.
I'm saying this? Because I've seen so many companies depending on, oh, I can manage it in Excel. That's
Mhm.
not the right way to do it. And Excel is an Excel. Excel is not an SIEM. Excel is not an incident management platform. So I would say Excel in that case, but only for security activities.
I was about to say that, I do a lot of work in Excel too. Okay. If your life were a firewall rule, what would it block?
Block buzzwords which do not have substance in it.
Okay, wonderful. So, biggest cybersecurity myth.
The biggest one, oh, I have a lot in this which was relevant for even the GCC audience which we have. The very first one, I would say, oh, if it has hadn't happened to me yet, it will not happen to me. If I have not been attacked, I will not be attacked any further. It has not been affected me in last so many years. Why would I be getting attacked? First one. Second biggest myth is, why would someone attack us? What do we have? That's a real myth I've seen with a lot of companies. And a lot of companies are not only in GCC, but everywhere, every other domain. Oh, I have a firewall and an antivirus. I'm done. What else do I need in security? I don't need anything else. No, sir. There is a lot to be done. A lot has to be managed after that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And so, let me ask you, what is a digital detox trick for you? What's your digital detox trick?
I have two of them. One was very active during the COVID, and in the social media circles around, I was known for that. There was one called as No Screen Sunday, and kids of every friend hated me like crazy because the rule was on a Sunday, do not look at a screen. It should not be an iPad, desktop, laptop, phone. Leave it around.
Mhm.
It should not be even the digital camera. We are just scrolling the either old photographs. No, no screen Sundays was one of the very strong digital detox I had. But for me personally, my biggest digital detox is when I get onto a road trip because
Okay.
I'm driving, I'm on the wheels, kids on the back seat. They know he's not gonna work, so it becomes a very good family time among everyone.
No, so thank you so much. It was really lovely talking to you, Rohit. And thank you once again, Rohit, for
Same here,
joining.
Rama.
Yeah, for joining us on Bhoom of Bharat. Your insights on cybersecurity, leadership, and the evolving GCC landscape were truly inspiring. We are grateful for your
Thanks a
time.
lot.
Yeah, we are grateful for your time and thought, leadership that you brought about on this topic. And definitely, new customers are going to look at seeing having cybersecurity innovation labs in India. So, for the audience, thank you so much for tuning in to this special episode of Boom of Bharat. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on the ideas and innovations shaping our world. If you have any thoughts or stories to share on this topic, we would love to hear from you. You could connect with me on LinkedIn, SRK Game Changers, or drop your questions on our website, srkgamechangers.com. Until next time, namaste from Bhoom of Bharat.